Anything to get these Epstein headlines out the news.
Conservatives are going to take the Republican Party back. I think there's a political coup going on right now in the Republican Party that people aren't paying attention to. Right now, we have the opportunity to have like a huge reset. I think you should blow it all up. I think that people are really sick and tired of what we've been presented from both parties. By the way, we knew this before the last election.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think that this Epstein thing is going to be a way for traditional conservatives to take their party back. I really do. I think that they know this is the issue that has gotten the base riled up. The MAGA base isn't letting this issue go, and for the first time, they know they can, probably take their party back and not piss off the MAGA base. I think they're going to do that.
In today's video, things just got messy between Donald Trump and Charlamagne the God after a wild interview on Lara Trump's show. Trump is mad, Charlamagne is standing his ground, and the internet is eating it up. So here's the tea. Charlamagne showed up on My View with Lara Trump and made some bold claims, basically saying that the Epstein case could break the MAGA hold on the Republican Party and open the door for real conservative leadership again. He also threw shade at Trump's economic record, saying people are still suffering from what he left behind, even while calling him a political juggernaut. And Trump
It was all a lie. Guys, it was all a lie. She lied.
didn't like that. At all. And if you've been watching Duku, this isn't the first time Trump's gone off on a public figure. In our last video, we broke down how Trump responded to questions about P. Diddy and whether he deserved a pardon, and if he crossed a line. Now, once again, Trump is back on social media dragging names. And this time, it's Charlamagne, a man who's never been afraid to speak truth to power. But it didn't end there. In this video, we're gonna break down what Charlamagne really said on Lara Trump's show, Trump's full Truth Social meltdown, and Charlamagne's response, and what it means politically. But before we get into the footage, take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It helps us grow, improve, and it helps for the algorithm. It also brings you even better videos, and it is free. And if you've got tips, thoughts, or things we can do better, drop them in the comments. We actually read them and will listen, and if we able reply to all your comments. Now here's the thing. When it comes to Charlamagne the God, say what you want, but he doesn't hold back. He's bold, he's unfiltered, and he's never been afraid to ruffle political feathers, left or right. Whether you agree with him or not, one thing's for sure, he's not fake. And when someone like that makes waves on a conservative platform, yeah, the fallout is going to be messy. Now let's talk about Donald Trump, because we've seen this pattern before. Anytime someone challenges his legacy, his base, or his brand, he responds with full force. The insults, the name-calling, the late-night Truth Social posts, it's classic Trump. And this time, it's personal. Not just because it's Charlamagne, but because it happened on his daughter's show. Yep, the interview happened on My View with Lara Trump, a platform that's quickly becoming Trump Media Central. Lara Trump isn't just the president's daughter-in-law, she's part of the strategy, a media safe zone where political allies can vent, distract, and set the narrative. But inviting Charlamagne?
Anything to get these Epstein headlines out the news.
That was a bold move, and it backfired big time. At least in Trump's eyes. It's giving family drama meets political crisis, and we're here for every second of it. But enough talk. Let's see exactly what was said, and why this moment sparked such a fiery reaction across the country. Let's roll the tape.
Inviting left-wing guests. It begs the question, is there still appetite for civil discourse and apolitical entertainment? Or has the liberal echo chamber become the norm? Well, Charlamagne certainly has some thoughts. I give you a lot of credit because you have had me on your show. You have people with differing viewpoints on a lot of different things on your show. And Charlamagne, I think we need more of that.
Absolutely.
You know, you look though at things like, take a look at these numbers. This is The View. The View had since January, from January until July, look at that, 0 conservatives and 102 left-leaning guests. And then listen to—
Is that real?
That's real. And this is ABC News. And listen to what ex-reporter Terry Moran had to say. He said, but we were biased. Yes, almost inadvertently, I'd say ABC News has the same problem so many leading cultural institutions do in America, a lack of viewpoint diversity. It's no secret there are hardly any people who supported Donald Trump at ABC News or other corporate legacy mainstream news networks. How important do you think it is to have different viewpoints and allow people— I mean, you're here on my show, I appreciate that, and vice versa, you had me on yours. This is important.
I think it's very important because I think a lot of times people talk about folks they never talk to.
Yeah.
And if you think that a person is spreading misinformation, if you think that a person is lying, then, you know, bring them on your platform and have that conversation. Like, you know, present the facts, present the truth, and then let the people decide. I think that's ridiculous to never, ever have anybody on your show that you don't agree with or has an opposing view of you or is from a different political party. Because at the end of the day, man, regardless of who's in the White House, that person represents all of America. And I reserve the right to criticize both parties.
Well, and I would say that person is a representative of America, and we should all want that person to succeed for America, right? No matter your political viewpoints, right?
100% agree. Like when you ask me, what do I think President Trump has done over the last 6 months, I don't want to say that I think he did a terrible job, but if he's doing a terrible job, I got to call it like it is. And if it was a Democrat—
I will respectfully disagree with you on that.
I understand
but that's
you would,
okay. You can have your viewpoint.
But if it was I gave President Biden the same hell too, because I didn't think he was doing a good job. All we want is somebody in those positions that's going to do a good job. I'm not a party person in no way, shape, or form. I want to say I'm an independent, but that don't make no sense because there's only 2 parties in this country, right? So you're going to end up voting for one of the other.
Do you see yourself in 2028 voting blue or voting red? And is there anyone you might already see yourself supporting?
I really don't know. I mean, I think that there's some good candidates out there. I think that we really have to look to the governors when it comes to the Democrats. I don't think that there's any change agents that's going to come out of nowhere and shake things up in the Democratic Party. I think it's going to end up being a governor, Josh Shapiro or a Wes Moore, somebody like that. And they actually have a track record, right? Because you can go look at their states to see what they're probably going to end up doing on a national level. The only other person I would like to see in 2028 run, and this is going to sound ridiculous probably coming from me, I would love to see Jon Stewart run in 2028. If we're talking about a change agent coming from the outside that's really going to shake things up, and somebody that I feel like can speak to, all people. Plus, he's a celebrity who actually knows what they're talking about. We've seen him get legislation and stuff, passed before. Like, we know where his heart is. He'd be somebody I'd like to see really get in the race and disrupt things in 2028.
Well,
maybe a Jon Stewart Colbert ticket, because Colbert's not going to have a job. He's not working because of President Trump, so they say.
Well, people say different things. They also say he lost $40 million a year for CBS, which is also a bit of a problem whenever you're trying to have a successful show. If you had to pick a Republican who might be able to earn your vote, is there anyone you like that you would look at?
I mean, I was in South Carolina. I grew up in South Carolina under, somebody like Nikki Haley, right? So I can see something like that. I do think, and this is, I think that traditional conservatives are going to take the Republican Party back. I think there's a political coup going on right now in the Republican Party.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I think that this Epstein thing is going to be a way for traditional conservatives to take their party back. I really do. I think that they know this is the issue that has gotten the base riled up. The MAGA base isn't letting this issue go, and for the first time, they know they can, probably take their party back and not piss off the MAGA base. I think they're going to do that.
Well, I would say, we've never seen a typical election since the day that Donald Trump came down the golden escalator. So I don't know that we'll ever see another typical kind of traditional election with traditional Republicans. I don't know. I feel like things have changed, the game changed, and to say that the old guard is going to kind of come back, that's a lot. That's a big statement.
But that's the mistake Republicans are going to make. Republicans are going to make the same mistake that Democrats made, and I'll tell you what I mean by that. Barack Obama was a one-of-one, once-in-a-lifetime, political juggernaut. And since Barack Obama, every Democrat has tried to be Barack Obama. You're not Barack Obama.
You got to be yourself.
It's going to be the same thing with Republicans. Say what you want. Donald Trump is a once-in-a-lifetime, one-on-one political juggernaut. You're not going to be Donald Trump. So if you think you're going to be able to do what Donald Trump has done, talk the way Donald Trump has talked, get away with what Donald Trump has got away with, it's not going to happen. Right now, we have the opportunity to have like a huge reset. I think you should blow it all up. I think that people are really sick and tired of what we've been presented from both parties. By the way, we knew this before the last election.
Is a cultural institution in this city, and he's watching closely as a self-proclaimed socialist, Zohran Mamdani, gets within reach of Gracie Mansion. But here's the question. When did the rent is too high become a Trojan horse for radicalism? When did progressive slogans start replacing actual solutions? As Mamdani gains traction and the Democratic Party scrambles to find its soul, even Charlamagne is asking whether the language they're using is helping anyone or just driving voters away. Here's more of our exclusive sit-down. Well, let me ask you about that, because it seems like the new face of the party is a guy who just won the Democrat primary here in New York City, Zohran Mamdani.
You think he's the face of the party?
Well, he seems to be the one who is out front. You have Mamdani, you have AOC, but who is really the leader of the Democrat Party? But
I don't think they have one.
Exactly. So is this the person who they should be championing, and is this the right leadership for New York City, do you think?
I don't think it's about individuals. I think it's about ideas. And I think, what he's presenting as far as just simply talking about affordability. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. When you hear somebody go out there and say, hey, look, the groceries are too damn high in New York City. The rent is too damn high in New York City. New York City is not affordable. Anybody who goes out anywhere in this country and has that message is going to be effective. That's what President Trump did. President Trump did the same exact thing. He went out there and he said it himself. I won this election because of one word: groceries. Because people are out here hurting. People are out here starving.
Well, but the real question is, will socialism be the way?
I don't like the word socialism.
But he says that's what he's for,
I know,
right?
And if you watch him on Breakfast Club, I told him, I said, Democrats, y'all come up with, all type of language for all types of other stupid stuff, right? Like, ability is actually the right term. When you're speaking to people's pockets, people will always hear you. Because that is something, I don't care if you're black, white, gay, straight, regardless of what your party is, your religion is. If you are a person who is, we want two things in America. We want more money in our pocket, and we want to feel safe. Mm-hmm. If you can speak to that, you will always connect with people.
Well, it's funny you bring up feeling safe, because he also has said things like that he wants to potentially replace some of our NYPD officers with social workers. Listen to this soundbite, though, from him, because he sort of flip-flops. 2021, he says one thing about the police. Take a listen to this.
When we talk about defund the NYPD, the entirety of the push is defund the NYPD and refund all of these different social services and things that actually create safety.
I am not defunding the police. I am not running to defund the police.
All right, well, obviously, Charlamagne, he says he's not into defunding the police, but you heard from him not long ago there. I think the question a lot of people here in New York have is, how do we make our streets safer when you've already seen a lot of money taken away from the NYPD, right? Mm-hmm. You've seen their budget pared back because you had a huge budget for the illegal immigrants here in the city. You've seen that you've had a lot of people retiring. Does that make you feel good as someone who works here in New York City?
Well, he said it right there, and that's another slogan that they need to get rid of, right? Defund the police. But he said it, refund social services. Like, whenever people have these conversations about defunding the police, what they're talking about is just take some of those hundreds of millions of dollars, billions of dollars that are being put into the police departments and put them into things that can actually make our community safer. Like, when he was on Breakfast Club and he talked about pairing, mental health professionals with police officers, because that's what you need sometimes. Like, if I'm a police officer, I'm not equipped to go out there and deal with somebody who's having a mental health crisis. And then, because I fear for my life, this person might attack me, I shoot them, I kill them. Now it's a big a big controversy, when the reality is pair them with people who actually do that work so you can prevent, some of those type of things. And also, man, put money in those communities to give these kids something to do. Like, these kids are going to resort, to crime and other things if they don't have, community centers, if they don't have access to trade school, if they don't have, food in their stomach. Like, I completely understand him when he says, refund social services. That's the thing that we need to hear.
Yeah, and I by the way, think a lot of people agree with that, but not at the deficit to our police force. I think you probably can do both.
I want police officers to make more money. Like, if these police departments are getting billions and billions of dollars, it's not even going into the police officers' pockets most of the time. So where is it going? So if you're spending all this money on the police departments and you're militarizing the police, what are you doing that for? Maybe if you put more money in the police officers' pockets, maybe some of them will be happy. Another conversation that we've been having is like, we talk about pairing police officers with mental health professionals. What about police officers' mental health? Police officers are human too. They're dealing with all types of issues. Sometimes they have to go out and go into these communities and they might be projecting the pain and the hurt that they're feeling onto other people abusing their power. So, I think that there is a way to, please all parties in that situation, but we got to start talking about what the root causes of these problems are. I think we get too caught up in slogans and we end up, arguing about things and nothing ever gets solved. Right now, we have the opportunity to have like a huge reset. I think you should blow it all up. I think that people are really sick and tired of what we've been presented from both parties. By the way, we knew this before the last election.
So first off, let's talk about that interview. Charlamagne didn't hold back. He walked right onto Lara Trump's show and dropped some serious heat. He called out the MAGA movement, threw shade on Trump's economic legacy, and even suggested the Epstein files could shake up the entire Republican power structure. Whether you agree with him or not, one thing's clear: Charlamagne came prepared. He wasn't there to pander, he was there to speak his mind. And for him to say all that on Trump's daughter-in-law's show, that took guts. But of course, Donald Trump wasn't going to let that slide. Let's see what the president wrote. He wrote the following on Truth Social. The very wonderful and talented Lara Trump, whose show is a big ratings success, put racist sleazebag Charlamagne the God on. Why is he allowed to use the word God when describing himself? Can anyone imagine the uproar there would be if I used that nickname? He's a low IQ individual, has no idea what words are coming out of his mouth, and knows nothing about me or what I have done, like just ending 5 wars, including a 31-year bloodbath between the Republic of Congo and Rwanda, where 7 million people have died, and there was no end in sight. He didn't know that. Or India and Pakistan. Or wiping out Iran's nuclear capabilities. Or closing the horrendous open border. Or creating the greatest economy, where prices and inflation have come way down. And where stupid and corrupt Joe Biden set the record for doing the worst job as president ever. But this dope, Charlamagne, would vote for Sleepy Joe or Kamala? Remember, 1 year ago, our country was dead. Now, it's the hottest country anywhere in the world. MAGA! So yeah, Trump called Charlamagne a racist sleazebag, said he was low IQ, and even dragged him for calling himself the God. Like that's the most delusional thing he's ever heard. Now look, calling someone a god is always going to rub some people the wrong way, but let's be real, Trump didn't just stop there. He brought out a whole resume of his accomplishments, ending wars, boosting the economy, fixing borders, and on some points, honestly, he's not wrong. The man knows how to list his wins. But here's the thing, Charlamagne wasn't about to let all that fly without saying something. He saw the post, read the insults, and decided, yeah, I'm responding with a video on my Instagram. Let's roll the tape.
I agree. How much longer can he avoid talking about it?
Obviously, it depends on how many black people he has left.
Why do black people matter?
Why do black people matter, John? What the f? Well, John, we still got a lot of work to do.
I know. I meant, why do they matter to the Epstein story?
It's because Trump is trying to throw every black person he can think of in front of this scandal to distract us. First, he released the Martin Luther King Jr. files. Then he accused Obama of treason. And now he wants to prosecute Oprah and Beyonce? He's coming after all of our greatest black people. Who's next? Michael Jordan? Michael B. Jordan? Michael C. Jordan?
Who is Michael C. Jordan?
I don't know, John, but he better watch his back. back. I'm scared for him. Trump is going to target every exceptional black person he can think of. We're about a week away from him saying that Urkel did 9/11. Did he do that? No, John, no, he didn't. He was nowhere near the towers that day. He's got to come clean.
Whew. This whole situation is giving petty, powerful, and personal. Trump came swinging with the name-calling, the flexing, and the full MAGA energy. He dragged Charlamagne's name like it was trending on Twitter and made it very clear, don't mess with the brand. But Charlamagne? He ate that up and came right back. No fear, no filter, say what you want about him, but he didn't fold. And let's not ignore the setting. He said all that on Lara Trump's own show. Like, woo, that's iconic shade in itself. At the end of the day, this wasn't just politics. This was personal. A battle of egos, legacy, and who gets to control the narrative. And baby, the internet is loving it. If this drama gave what it was supposed to give, drop a like, hit that subscribe button, and sound off in the comments. Whose side are you on? Team Trump? Team Charlamagne? Or Team grab the popcorn and let them fight? You already know. This is Duku Entertainment, where the mess is loud, the tea is hot, and we never miss a beat. See you in the next one!